The night was a heavy blanket of darkness, and the road ahead seemed to stretch endlessly into the void. The hum of the engine was my only companion, a steady rhythm that matched the beat of my anxious heart. The radio crackled with intermittent bursts of static, but I didn't dare touch the dial. The eerie stillness outside was enough to make my skin crawl. I tightened my grip on the steering wheel, my knuckles turning white. The headlights carved a tunnel of weak illumination through the inky abyss, revealing glimpses of trees that seemed to whisper secrets to each other. There was a feeling, a primal instinct, that warned of the unknown lurking just beyond the edge of my vision. The wind outside moaned like a restless spirit, and I could feel its chill seeping through the cracks in the car's windows. My eyes darted around, searching for any sign of life, any break in the unsettling silence that had settled over the night. And then, just as my nerves were on the brink of giving way, I saw it. A faint, distant light. It flickered like a beacon cutting through the darkness. Relief washed over me. Civilization couldn't be far now. As I drew closer, the light grew brighter, revealing the shape of a vehicle parked by the side of the road. Steam rose from the hood in ghostly tendrils, swirling into the night air. I eased off the gas, my curiosity piqued. Maybe they needed help, a jump start or a phone call. It was the right thing to do. I pulled up behind the stalled car, the headlights casting an eerie glow. My heart pounded as I killed the engine and stepped out into the frigid air. The chill bit into my skin, raising goosebumps along my arms. "Hello?" I called out, my voice swallowed by the expanse of the night. A figure emerged from the fog, stepping into the halo of light. My breath caught in my throat as I saw her. A woman, her features almost too perfect to be real. Her hair cascaded like a waterfall of midnight, and her eyes were like twin galaxies, deep and unknowable. "Hey, my car broke down," she said, her voice a lilting melody that held a touch of the surreal. I nodded, my tongue feeling like lead in my mouth. "I can give you a lift to the nearest town," I managed to say. She smiled, a smile that sent a shiver down my spine. "Thank you. That's very kind of you." As she settled into the passenger seat, her presence seemed to fill the car with an otherworldly energy. The silence between us was heavy, the air electric with an unspoken connection. My fingers itched to break the silence, to ask questions about her, about where she came from, but an unexplainable hesitation held me back. The road stretched ahead once again, the dark void seemingly endless. But now, her presence was a comforting contrast to the eerie stillness that had enveloped the night. The radio's static had faded, replaced by an inexplicable calmness. "Is it always so quiet here?" she asked, her gaze fixed on the road ahead. "Yeah," I replied, my voice carrying a tinge of unease. "It's a small town, not much happens around here." She nodded, her gaze distant as if lost in thought. A sudden gust of wind rattled the car's windows, causing us both to jump. I stole a glance at her, and for a moment our eyes locked. There was a depth to her gaze that seemed to hold secrets beyond my comprehension. As the miles passed, the town lights began to flicker in the distance, signaling our approach. The unease that had settled within me since the beginning of the journey began to dissipate, replaced by a strange sense of calm. The tension that had gripped my shoulders gradually relaxed. As we reached the outskirts of the town, she directed me to a quaint street. "Just here is fine," she said softly. I parked the car by the curb, and as she stepped out, I noticed a sense of loss already creeping over me. "Thanks for the company," I said, trying to mask the reluctance in my voice. She smiled again, that same enigmatic smile. "Remember, sometimes the night reveals more than the day ever could." With those cryptic words, she closed the car door and began walking down the dimly lit street. I watched her figure until it faded into the shadows, leaving me alone in the car, a mixture of emotions swirling within me. As I drove away, the memories of that night stayed with me, a haunting reminder of the mysteries that the darkness can hold. And I couldn't shake the feeling that the encounter was more than just a chance meeting, that the road I had traveled that night had led me to something beyond the ordinary, a glimpse into a world where reality and the unknown converged.